Now let's look at moving automation from one place to another. There are various ways to do this. We won't look at them all. I'll just show you some of the ways that I use. If I turn automation on, we can see I've automated an effect send here to an echo on this bleep region here. What that does, if we play it, is it adds a sort of spot delay. Now if I want to move that region somewhere else and I want to keep that automated send with it, how could I do it? Well, first of all, there is an automation preference in the main preferences menu there, automation, and this one at the top relates to how automation is moved with regions. Now I've got it on never at the moment, which I personally find the most useful by default, but I can get it to always move automation, in which case if I try now to move that, duplicate it, you'll see that it moves the automation, or I can get it to ask me, give me the choice every time. Do you want to copy the automation data? Copy or don't copy? Every time I do that, if I change my mind and want to go back to the never asking mode, I can always click that box there, and now when I try it, it won't ask me, it won't give me the choice. So that can be useful. There is another way though. We can embed that automation data there within that region. We simply select the region, go to our track automation menu, and we select move visible track automation to region, and that will embed the automation within the region. Let's see what happens when I do that, and you'll see it's disappeared. It looks like it's disappeared, but it hasn't. If we play it back, we'll see this send here still being automated. And now we can move that bleep around and duplicate it. The automation will go with it. But we don't have to worry about automation being moved on any other regions. That's one of the advantages. Now so far we've looked at applying automation in quite a precise way by drawing it in. But one of the fun things about automation is actually using your hands and doing stuff in a more natural way. And that's pretty easy, especially when you're using the mouse. Many of the parameters which we can adjust on logic can be recorded as automation. And the key to it is this automation box here on the channel strips. At the moment you'll see that for the bleep here it's on read, because when we drew the automation in for that, it automatically read it back afterwards. However, there are other modes. If we look at the mixer, you'll see that every channel strip has that box, and they're all off at the moment except for the bleep, which is as we'd expect. Now let's say I want to record a volume fade on these cellos here, but I want to do it with the mouse. How could I do that? Well, let's select the cello here, and its channel strip appears on the left, obviously. Let's say I want it to be quiet at the start here and to fade in over these 16 bars here. I go to the automation box over here, and you'll see there are 4 choices. Read only becomes relevant when we've actually put some in, which we haven't done yet. And then these 3 are to do with recording automation. Now there's perhaps not time here to go into the differences between all three of these. Write is perhaps the simplest. As soon as you put it into write mode and you move anything, it gets recorded as automation. The danger is that you can easily write over existing automation, so it's not advisable to use that a lot of the time. In fact, we can see here that it warns us about using write mode, so it's often best avoided. Touch mode is really only relevant when you have a touch sensitive control surface of some kind, like a Mackie controller for instance, where it can sense when you've touched a fader. Now we're not going to use that, we're going to use latch. There's not as much risk of you erasing existing automation, and you don't need a touch sensitive control surface. So that's now waiting to record some automation. Now we don't actually have to hit record, we just hit play, and then I'm going to move this fader which will write the automation. What I have to be careful to do now is to switch that back to read. Otherwise it won't read back that information. We can see now, if I click A, the automation data for that movement that I just made with that fader has been written in. And we can see it's quite a nice smooth curve. Let's play it back just to check. Yeah, we can see it moving over there. And once this has been put into latch mode, you can actually play around with all sorts of things. You could do parameters of your instrument, you could do sends, any inserts, they all get written to the relevant channel strip.